Hello students, here is your tutorial on creating another one of the cams. In this one we will be focusing on the Pear Cam, and with the Pear Cam you have a choice of these different diameters. Your teacher is going to assign you one of them, 1.5 to 2.5 or 3 inches, and I'm going to demo my video at 3.5 inches. So just remember that whatever you are given, make sure you are doing the proper equations to figure out what your exact dimensions need to be. So inside Inventor, I'm going to go ahead and click New, and I'm going to select a new standard part, and I'm going to hit Create. Our background is going to come up, and I'm going to take a look at my Pear Cam. So in this case, my Pear Cam has 2 radiuses attached with tangent lines, and it gives us a center distance between the arc at the bottom, the arc at the top, a 1/2 inch, and then a 3/16 inch hole. Since I'm going to be doing a 3.5 inch cam here, I need to figure out this equation so I can figure out the radius. So I'm going to show you some new tools on how to do this. So inside Inventor, I'm going to go ahead and click Start Sketch, and I'm going to select this XY plane. And the first thing I'm going to look at is I'm going to draw this bottom circle, and this is very similar to your homework you had in 4.2. So the bottom circle is going to be a radius that is half the diameter. Well, half of 3.5 is 1.75. So we want the bottom of this arc to be 1.75 in radius. And when I draw a circle, though, a circle is dimensioned by its diameter. Well, we can actually change that. You can right-click and you can go down to radius. And so now you can actually dimension a circle by its radius inside of Inventor. Now if you're actually creating a working drawing for this, you'd still need a dimension by its diameter if it's a circle. But I'm going to move this out, and I'm going to select 1.75. I'm going to hit Enter. Zoom out a bit because I was zoomed in. And I'm going to right click OK. I'm going to go up here, and I see that I have another arc, which can be a circle, which is a 1/4 inch of the diameter. So in this case, the radius will be half of 1.75, which will be 0.875. So I'm going to grab another circle, and I'm just going to click somewhere above it. And you can see since I changed the first circle to dimension by the radius, the second one does as well. So I'm going to select 0.875. I'm going to enter that and hit OK. Right click OK, and you can see here I can pretty much move this around in a lot of different areas. So I have a few dimensions that I need to get down. The first is I can get the distance, which is half the diameter, and I can use the dimension tool, dimension from center to center of circle, move off to the right, and this would be half the diameter, 1.75. And next, what I need to do is put in some additional constraints so it doesn't like move around on me. So that's really, really important because I can just kind of move this around, and I don't want this to happen. And one of the tools we taught you earlier is we want these centers to be lined up. And for them to be lined up, that would be a vertical constraint. So I'd select the center of this and the center of this line, and they'd be lined up vertically. Kind of looks like a snowman. Next, I'm going to go ahead and draw in some lines and make those lines tangent. So I'm going to select line, and I'm going to draw in some lines, and just making sure they're connecting, because I can come back and I can add in the tangent right now. So it looks a little silly, but I will select tangent, and I will tangent to both of these. So this line to this circle, this line to this circle, and they're now they're both tangent to their respective circles, or the side of their circles for each line. Next, after I have that, I can just trim it up, extrude it, and I can create that hole again. So I'm going to select Trim, and I'm going to start to just kind of trim up some areas that I don't need necessarily, and I have the shape of my cam. I'm going to finish my sketch, just zoom out a bit, hit Extrude, and this again is a 3/16 inch material. Remember, because we're using a inch part, any of these numbers you plug in here are going to be construed as inches. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK, and I am not done yet. Next, what I need to do is place in this hole for a rod that is 3/16 of an inch diameter hole. To do that, I'm going to select Sketch, click here, and the nice thing is the bottom radius and the hole, they share the same center point. And this is where I'm going to put my hole. So I'm going to sketch, and I'm going to teach you kind of a new tool. I'm going to select point, click the center with the point. It's kind of hard to see, but there is this little center mark that shows up. I'm going to select finish sketch, and I'm going to go up to hole. I select hole, and it will automatically create a hole at that point for me, which is really, really nice. All I need to do is just identify its size, which is its diameter right here. That will be 3/16. And then the termination, I want to make sure it's through the entire part. So I want to make sure that says through all. If it's good, go ahead and hit OK, and you now have your pear-shaped cam. You can save that and move on to the next step.